Hey guys, welcome back to the Live Out Love podcast. So excited for this week's guest. Today I have on Ally Napp with me.
Hi.
And me and Ally, I always love starting the podcast with just explaining of how I know whoever the guest is on for this week. And I'm just so excited for this week's episode again, like I said. But so me and Ally I think it was 2 years ago,
Mhm.
I ended up going to this worship school in Redding, California. It was called Bethel School of Worship. And it was like a conference, a 5-day, 3-day conference.
Mhm.
I was so nervous because I didn't know anyone. I remember we have a mutual friend that I went to kindergarten with. I DM'd him. I was like, you probably don't even know who I am, but I'm coming out here. Do you have any friends? And he didn't really say anything. And I remember telling my mom before I ended up going to the first day of worship school, I was like, Mom, I'm not going to make any friends. I'm just going to go and stick to my bubble. And her friend laughed at me. They're like, Olivia, you're going to make so many friends. The Lord has so much in store for you. I'm like, yeah, right. And then I go and I meet Allie, and you're just joy just lit up the entire room. And she's literally the coolest person ever. And to just share so much just about Jesus. And she's so wise. And yeah, other than that, tell the people about yourself, who you are,
Aw.
what you do, where you're from.
Yeah, that's so sweet. So I live in Redding, California. I'm actually from Michigan, though.
Yes.
When I was 15, my parents visited Bethel Church in Redding, which is where the conference was, and they had just like a crazy encounter with the Lord, and they had felt the Lord say, "Move your family out here," and they actually came to me first and was like, "Hey, we know you're going into high school. We actually feel like we're supposed to ask you if we are supposed to go right now, or if you want to stay, then we're going to honor you and stay until you're graduated." And I was like, no, I want to go. I remember just hearing um what they were talking about, the stories of what had happened at Bethel, and I was like, no, I knew something in me was hungry for it. I was like, I need to go. And so we had packed up everything within 3 months and had moved out here from that time. And yeah, so I'm from Michigan, moved to Redding. I've been here for 6 or 7 years. And I'm currently in the School of Ministry here right now, which is called SSM. And I'm going into my 3rd year this year.
Yay.
Which is so exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm up to right now. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And then, so at such a young age, how do you the Lord, do you think just kind of spoke to you at that? Because I feel like that's rare to hear the Lord's voice that vivid at such, what, you were in 8th grade going into freshman year?
I was in freshman year. It was that summer, and then I was going into freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
so cool that at that young age. And we have a similar story because I've told you, when I moved from Maine to South Carolina, I moved before my senior year of high school. And my parents came to me and they're like, are you okay? And
Yeah.
my motto after that was you can't grow in the comfortable. I just gotta go. And it's just really cool to see other people stepping out of their faith out of such a young age and just going where the Lord tells them to go.
Yeah.
And then, so you went to high school in Redding, and then can you maybe share a little bit about, did you go on some missions with, I remember you kind of explaining this when I saw you.
Yeah.
Will you explain that?
About my experience in missions?
Yeah. What was it called? It was called something.
Oh, yeah. It was, so right after I graduated high school, I went to before I did BSSM, I had actually, I'd been living in Redding at that point, and I actually felt like I wasn't supposed to go to BSSM that year. And I was like, "Okay, Lord, where am I going?" And I had no idea what I was doing. And then a youth leader from church was like, "I actually feel like there's something about this school called Harvest School, and Heidi Baker is leading it, and it's originally in Mozambique and all this stuff." And I was like, and so I thought about that, and I thought the whole summer, and I was still I don't know. And then 2 weeks before the school was supposed to start, I felt like the Lord was like, "Okay, you can go to this." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I signed up for the school 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave, and I got accepted the next day. And then I had packed up everything last minute, and and the school was in Israel, South Africa, and then I went to Mozambique. And so I had been gone for I think 3 months. But yeah, it was called Iris Global. It's with
Yeah.
and then Harvest School. Iris Global has like a bunch of different schools that you can go to. I went to the one called Harvest School. But yeah, so right out of high school, I went on missions, and just was able to walk through Israel, which was crazy, and then I was in South Africa for 2 months, and then Mozambique for a couple weeks, and that was great. And then while I've been in BSSM, I went to Kenya as well. Okay. And so yeah.
Was it every time you've been on missions, like were there some challenging parts, I'm sure?
Yeah. For sure. I would say like I love missions. This is where like it's like if you have a heart and a love for people, like missions is just like no matter what you go through, it's like there's just something in you that's like this is worth it. This is worth it. This is worth it. Because there's people who just like have never heard of the gospel before, or like people who like especially in Africa, there was so much like everything is so much more like spiritually open there, if that makes sense. Like you just see so many more things like out in the open that you just wouldn't see in America, I would say. And so like just like going to people and like almost giving a solution that was like actually there is someone who died for you. There is someone that like loves you so much to the point where he said you're worthy to die for. And like just seeing people's lives change because of that has been like it's just so worth it. But random like challenges, sometimes it is hard to see. Like we've seen so many like kids who have been abused and hurt, and being able to go in and like help in situations like that has been so great. But it's like we're only there for a little bit, you know. And so it does like open your eyes to be like, wow, we do need more people who are willing to go and to stay in these places and willing to invest in these people. And then I've gotten food poisoning, which is random. It wasn't even a big deal. But
did you like drink the water, or was it from the food?
It was from the food. I ate a fish, and I knew it looked weird, and I didn't even want to eat it, but I ate it, and I got sick and was just like throwing up for like. I remember I was literally like throwing up, and then they asked me to lead worship, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna push through, and I literally led worship while feeling like
that's some supernatural strength right there.
No, I swear there was literally grace for it, because like after worship I was like actually feeling better, and I was like, wow.
Being obedient even when you're on your
I was like, I'm going to do this. And so food poisoning is just
no fun.
You know,
sometimes it's worse than the flu. That's awful.
I know. It was actually like I was up at like 3 a.m. just like throwing up.
What country?
I was in South Africa during that. Yeah.
Well, now you have the story that you got to lead worship during having day.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow. I love just hearing you share about that, just because in your life, like that's so normal, like getting to just go out into different countries or on your streets and talk about Jesus. I think maybe a lot of people who are listening here aren't familiar with that type of like evangelism. And we do have a lot at Clemson who people go out and do different things. But maybe could you explain just a little bit more about just like your time at BSSM and how that ties in with like going on missions and what they kind of teach you guys for all years?
Yeah. So BSSM is great. I think that if like you are hungry and you want to learn more and you want to like go to another level, like I think that everyone should do BSSM, just because of like even like simple like friendships and stuff like that. It's like you're just like you can't go to BSSM and walk away the same. Like you're going to be like your life is just going to change. And like I would say going into first year, that's the year that they really focus on like almost the heart stuff. Like, okay, what have you walked through in your life and what do you need healing in? And like, how can you walk in freedom? You know what I mean? So they really like, they have a heart and desire for discipleship, and to be like, we see you and like you are so known and you are so worthy to be invested in as a person. And they like really help you like walk in daughtership or walk in sonship of just like, this is who you're created to be. And like, we don't want to leave you. Like we love you too much to leave you where you're at. And so they like kind of just call you higher, and they're like, okay, like for me, I know I walked into BSSM thinking like, oh, like I've been loving the Lord for so long and I'm doing so great and whatever. And then I walked in there and I was so humbled. I was like, wow, there's so much stuff that's in me that's like I didn't realize needed to be pulled out. And like
Yeah.
it's the biggest thing was being surrounded by like community that really helped me, and being seen, and like you know, it's hard to stay the same when you're hidden, but when you're pulled into the light, it's like your life is just it's bound to be like changed, and you're bound to be set free, you know? And so
So good.
that's kind of first year, and that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the my second year, and for everyone's second year is like, okay, we're free now. And a lot of that is like a choice though. Like you can choose to stay where you're at, or
Right.
you can say yes to the freedom and be like, okay, yeah, I do want to step into this. I want to step into who the Lord has fully called me to be. And that's kind of just like what happens in first year is like you are walking in healing, you're walking in freedom, and you're seen and you're known. And it was one of the most impactful years of my life. And then going into second year, it was almost like a year of risk for our class of just like, okay, like we've been through all of this together, and now we're going through class, we're doing great, we're, you know, whatever. But we almost got to this point of like feeling like, wow, are we just going through the motions right now? Like, do we know, like, are we growing basically? And as a class, we basically just started, we went through a whole week of just talking about risk. And like our class started taking like radical steps of risk. And like something, it was like we were before that, it was like we were hitting this lid and everyone could feel it. We're like, why do we feel like we're just like getting only up to a certain spot and like we're not growing or doing anything? And like the risk and like the obedience, it was like the Lord was almost challenging us. And it was like once we stepped into that, like that lid just popped off. And it was like it even the leaders were like, you guys are one of the most unified classes that we've had.
That's
And yeah, and so it was like the unity and the obedience, and it was like everyone was in the same page, and it was really like it was crazy. Like and so yeah, that was basically my second year. And you also like you learn how to preach, you learn like once again, like BSSM is the perfect mix of just like you're learning, and you're also like there's so many opportunities to take risk and to step out. But you can like the dangerous thing is like you can choose to like stay hidden and stay back and be like, oh, I'm just gonna stay, like go through the motions of like staying in my seat, not really doing anything, not really getting to know people. But I'm like, if you decide like, okay, I am made for this. I'm made to step out, and I'm made to take up space. Like someone told me, they're like, Ally, like you know that you're worthy to take up space. And I was like, I had this belief that I was like, I'm just gonna let other people like go forward and like they take the lead, you know?
Yeah.
But it took me like 2 years to realize like, okay, Lord, this is a common thing that you're telling me to take up space, use your voice. And I realized like, wow, it's been the only thing that's been holding me back is me. Like I've been like being humble, but really it was false humility, and that's pretty much pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like
Wow.
under that revelation of like, okay, I've actually not been humble. Actually, what I'm doing is like almost hurting the Lord's heart because I'm not saying yes to what He's been calling me to do and like His heart for me. You know what I mean? It's like a dad who's like, I know that there's so much better for you, but you're not like seeing it. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of just the revelation that I've had for myself. And
So good.
so yeah, second year was great. And then third year is more of a mentorship of like you are under somebody in the church. You can also do third year in a different country for missions if you decide to do that. So I know one of my friends is doing third year, I believe in Kenya, where we went. And so you can be under like a leader there as well. Or there's another leader in Hawaii doing missions there as well,
Cool.
and just like other countries. But Yeah, so I'm doing 3rd year in the Young Saints, which is the youth department. So I'm gonna be, like, with the, youth pastor and the youth administrator, and I'm gonna be doing stuff with them, and basically you're just doing life with them. You're helping them and, you're learning how to preach again, like, it's different for each department that you might be in for 3rd year, if that makes sense, but, yeah, 3rd year is kinda like taking what you've learned and then, like, going and doing it pretty much.
Wow, it's so cool. Are you doing anything with worship at all?
Actually, this I've this Wednesday is worship auditions for 3rd year. So, yeah,
Yay! That's so exciting.
yeah, and then this whole since I was 16, I've been on the Bethel Kids worship team, but
Okay, yeah,
still doing that.
'cause you're so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know what it is, Ally, but every time you talk about BSSM with me, I cry. I don't know if you saw
Oh,
me, I was wiping tears.
oh my
I think it's just, like, I just am I everything that you said of, like, what they teach you first year, what they teach you second year, I've always, like, strive for those things. Like, everyone wants to know their identity, wants to feel known. Like, even if they are in a relationship with Jesus, they wanna feel that fully.
yeah,
And I've told you this before, but for the listeners, my parents actually went to this school when I was in kindergarten, and so I went to kindergarten in Reading when my parents went to the school. So they've raised me in teaching me what BSSM taught y'all, and so sorry, y'all, I bet you're like, "Y'all, what?" Anyways, like, I just always heard BSSM, and I actually just found a letter that my dad wrote me my senior year of high school, and in the letter, he was like, "I love you so much, but I think it would be such a cool idea for you to take a gap year from college and go to Bethel and, like, experience and see what the Lord has in store for you," and obviously, I didn't listen to that, but I'm so excited that I finally am listening, and it's cool that I found it my senior year of college
come
and,
on.
like, making the decision to, like, go next year.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's really cool. But I just one more thing about BSSM.
Yeah,
Well, this might be a little harder question, and it's okay if you can't answer it, but so when I tell people about just Bethel in general, BSSM, there's a lot of, like, things, and I never know how to, like, stand up for it or explain it kinda thing, but since you, like, are living there, grew up in there, a lot of people when I tell them I'm going to school or when I'm telling I, like, love what they do, I believe in I'm charismatic, I believe in all this stuff.
yeah.
Um, a lot of people bring up this documentary. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Is it
That
about Chris Walton?
no, I don't
Oh,
know, some documentary where apparently these kids that went to this school, like, raised people from debt, something like that, and it
mm,
was not like, it was kinda bashing the school, and
okay.
so and apparently a lot of people here and I'm not like, anyone who's listening, I'm not, like, saying, "You're a terrible person for telling
Yeah,
me that." I'm just confused 'cause I've never heard of it, and so I would love for maybe you to just explain the school and how it's not crazy and how some people, like, say it's, like, the
yeah,
devil. I'm like, it's way far from the devil,
yeah.
it's actually the devil, but
Yeah,
so
totally. No, that makes sense. No, I've heard, one of our pastors has made a
Mhm.
joke about the documentary, I think,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
um,
maybe
and
probably that.
he will fully talk about it. He's really funny. He has, like, no shame. He's like,
You're talking
um
about Valentin?
yeah, he's
Okay,
talking
yeah.
about it. He thinks that it's funny, but,
Yeah.
um, anyway, since high school, I've actually been made fun of for going to Bethel in general,
Wow,
and
really?
like,
So
other
you yeah.
students. Yeah, and so I've learned to just not at first, it, like, made me really upset because 'cause I'm like, "You
Yeah.
just don't understand and la la la," but I'm like, um, it's just okay, so can I ask, like, if the documentary it was made by students?
I don't know, I didn't watch it, but I just remember one year my Bible study leader at college, like, pulled me aside and was like, "That's not good." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Yes, it is." Sorry, I'm like but it's like because you don't wanna be, like, you don't wanna get all, like, defensive of it because people don't know what they don't know, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
People pulled my parents aside when they went and were like, "You're going to hell, like, if you do that." I'm
yeah,
like, "What?" So, yeah,
yeah,
just explain how, like, it's different, but explain how like, just explain.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess, like, what I've learned throughout the years and, like, what I've, basically just had to, like, just pray about in my own life has been like, "Okay, how do I live without offense when people
Mm,
my church, basically?"
so good.
Um, and I mean, I guess my biggest thing is, like, I came from a different state, like, I came from a different church that wasn't like Bethel, and,
Mm,
all I can say is, like, my I know my parents, I've known my parents my whole life, and when they came back from Bethel, I mean, they were so in love, and they knew that they needed something more, and they knew that the Lord was saying, like, "You're gonna come to Bethel," and I mean, he literally told us to go, like, the
Wow.
Lord told us to go to Bethel, and so, like, from my own journey, it's like, I don't think God would tell my family to go if it was the devil, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly, yeah.
um, and I know for a fact that if I hadn't gone to Bethel and if I hadn't gone to BSSM, like, my life would not
Mhm.
be the same because I have found, like I know what it's like to walk in my identity as a daughter now, and just being able to be surrounded by so many powerful leaders who have been walking with the Lord for so long and have been able to disciple me in that journey. Like, my life just wouldn't be the same. And I'm like, if that many people go to BSSM, like from other countries, like people
Yeah,
who are like using every penny that they have because they're so hungry to learn
right.
more about the Lord, like there's just so many signs that like don't point to the fact that like, okay, this is evil, this is like, you know what I mean? And I don't know.
Hypocrisy,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that mostly, like, when people come in bashing, it's just from a thing of, like, misunderstanding, like, they don't know what's going on fully, and they only hear rumors, which there's so many rumors, like, Bethel like, I feel like any mega church is going
right,
to have, like,
100%.
rumors, and so, like and also, it comes a lot from people who are, like, visiting, like, we have so many visitors,
Yeah.
and people who don't understand what's going on, and, like
Or just visiting to, like, try to bash it even.
yeah, they
You're like
visit and they try to, like, use that as their credibility of, like, "Oh, yeah, I went and, like, they tried to do this and they tried to do that," and it's like, I have been going here for the past 6 years, and there has been nothing weird or,
crazy
like,
here.
creepy that's, like, evil and, like, why would they do that, and, like,
Mhm.
anything like that. Like, I remember in high school, people would come up to me and ask, like, "So do you guys, like, sacrifice, like, animals, like, at
I
Bethel?"
think that was one thing people asked me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, they make sacrifices, and I'm like, "No, like, we're not living in, like, the Old Testament, like, we're living like, it's"
So
um,
funny.
but yeah, I would say, like, the the thing with Bethel is, like, they don't ignore the the word of God, like, they're gonna, like, look in, like I would say that they, like, really step into, like, the Bible. I don't know how to explain it, like, they step into
Yeah,
the Bible and, like, the things that it says that are, like, still happening today. Like,
right.
God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, so if it's happening, like, then why wouldn't it be happening now? And so I think that's, like it's mostly a thing of, like, it scares people. That's,
Yeah,
like
it's uncomfortable.
yeah, it's uncomfortable, but
It
it's,
is
like
offensive, you
yeah,
know? Like but, like, you just have to understand, like, you have to be offended, like,
yeah,
to you have to be offended to grow
yeah,
in
'cause
your
it's, like
relationship, in
yeah,
your
it's that thing of, like, he loves us too much to leave us where we're at. And it's, like, we're not just meant to stay in this one, like, we're constantly growing and constantly meant to like, he's the God of the universe, why would he be like,
mm,
why would we water him down to something that's like, "This is what church is supposed to look like, and this is what he's supposed to look like," and then, like, when he comes in and, like, almost, like, ruins
yeah,
our theology,
yeah.
it's like 'cause he's the God of the universe, like, he can do anything, and so when you give space for God to do something, he's gonna do something, you know? And I would say, like, Bethel is, like what they do is that they allow space for the Lord to just come in and do what he wants to do, and I think that that's scary because, like, God will do it. Like, he
And
will
he's bigger than the universe. Like, he's huge.
like, he's
Yeah,
giant, he's
yeah,
huge, way bigger, like,
yeah,
we can't, like, comprehend it, and we
yeah,
just I think that so many churches and so many people try to control him when it's like, you know, it's like, he's so kind that he's not gonna, like,
yeah.
blow up your church if you're keeping it very mundane and chill, but, like, if you give him space to be big, then he's gonna be big.
That's so good. That is such a great advice just because whoever is listening, like, I just encourage you to literally just ask him to do big things. Ask him
Mm,
to make room in your life, to go out and, like, he isn't in a box.
yeah,
Actually, a cool thing of my dad told me when he came home from when he went to BSSM,
mhm,
he went to my grandpa and he was like, "My grandpa's he's an amazing man."
yeah,
A very, like, a rule follower, and I think my whole family is very they're rule followers, whatever, and he
yeah,
was like, "Hey, dad, if the Holy Spirit told you to smoke a cigarette, would you do it? And he was like, no, like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And my dad's like, what? And then my grandpa like caught himself. He was like, wait a second. Like, I would, but would he do that? And like, it was a really cool analogy, which I don't know if like maybe a pastor taught my dad that analogy, but like when my dad told me that of like, he like the Holy Spirit can do the craziest things, but you just have to let him. And he could literally tell you to go do go smoke a cigarette, go smoke if that's what he's telling you. My friends that they're like, that's weird. Like, no, he wouldn't do that. And I'm like, you don't know what the Holy Spirit's going to tell you to do. You just
Yeah.
have to go and listen when he tells you to do crazy things.
Yeah.
My another point of you've kind of brought this up of like taking risks.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for maybe people who haven't experienced something like that to go and take risks to tell the gospel about people? Also, maybe adding in like how they can see like the golden people too. I know y'all do that too.
Totally. Yeah, when it comes to taking risk, I I have so many like stories, I feel like, of just
Can you
taking.
share?
Yeah, I would say okay. The biggest thing that I would say is like if you're feeling like almost a pressure or a weight to do it, I think that you need to take a step back and kind of like almost like reset. I don't know how to say it, but I would take a step back and I would go. The biggest thing is like reading your word and almost falling in love with who you're reading about, if that makes sense.
So good.
Like,
Yeah.
you're just like doing it just to like do it and like almost following like rules that you feel like you have to follow. Like I feel like you should take a step back. And like the reason why I fell in love like with the Lord, like I feel like he touched my life and I was like, wow, like other people need this. And it was because of that like encounter of just like, oh my gosh, like I've never felt this much love in my life. Like I need to tell other people about this. Like you're almost overflowing. And I would say like if you're like I don't know, like there's like the Bible even says it. It's like you need to get filled up on the word or else it's going to be like you're spiritually dry. You know what I mean? And it's like you need to feed yourself. You need to feed yourself so that you're at the point of overflowing. And when you're at the point of overflowing, you want to tell people. Like it's not something that's like scary anymore, if that makes sense. Like yeah, you can get scared for things, but like it's not something that's like overwhelmingly like I feel like I have to do this thing, but like I'm too scared to do it and I don't know how to get out of it. It's like this thing that's like when you're in love and you find the love of your life, it's like you're going to put a ring on it and you're going to show everybody like, look at who I'm married to. You know what I mean? It's like that thing of like, you're so in love that you're unashamed to tell anybody. And like, it happens naturally. Like I still like, obviously to this day, like it almost like happens, like it, like people fall into my lap almost of like, I'll be in the grocery store and like just be talking to people and just like having a regular conversation of like, oh, like, yeah, like today I did this or whatever. And then like something will like shift the conversation of like, yeah, like yesterday my like dad died or like something like that. Or that's just like I'm like feeling really like I have this situation going on and I like don't know what to do about it. And it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, like actually, can I pray for you? Because I feel like actually God, like he actually brought me here for a reason and I want to like it's, you know, something like that. And it happens all the time and it's just like so simple, but it can impact someone's like whole life in their day. And you don't know, like you kind of have to be okay with the fact of like I don't know what's going to happen after I pray for them and like when they leave. But what actually like I feel like I might be going on a tangent right now, but even just yesterday at church, we were reading this Bible or this verse that was like, those who believe, like, what does it say? It's like those who believe, like, signs and wonders will follow them, and like all these things. And I was like sitting there, like, sometimes I am afraid to like step out and like do things, but I'm like, if I believe, like, if I truly believe, like, that's where the faith aspect has to come in of like, do I trust you enough? Do I believe that what you say is true? And if I actually believe that that person is going to walk away and actually have that miracle that they've been needing, like, is it going to happen? And it's just you have to be okay with the fact of like, I don't know what's going to happen when I pray for this person. And it is scary, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know that there is a solution, and I feel like I love, like, people too much to let them stay, like, where they're at, if that makes sense, and, like, not offer that solution, but, um, yeah, and so, when it comes to, like, seeing the gold in people,
Mhm.
like, I feel like a prayer that I've always prayed when I especially, like, um I feel like the Lord has given me such a heart of compassion as well, of just, like, always seeing the best in people, which is, like, a blessing and a curse sometimes, but, I feel like a prayer that I have prayed has been like, "God, give me your eyes, like, let me see what you see in this person," and I feel like that has helped so much, and it's like, even when you come across people who like, almost like loving your enemies type thing,
Yeah,
it's like, when you ask the Lord, like, "Give me eyes to see this person how you see them," it's like
so
your heart just gets filled with compassion, and you're like, even when you're going through those days of, like, "This person is really mean," or, "They're really annoying," or, like, "I don't like them,"
right,
it's almost like he reveals, like, "Actually, this is how I see them," and, even for me, like, when I've asked that, like, "Okay, God, give me eyes to see, like, how you see this person," it's almost like he gives a glimpse of, like, what they might be feeling or what they're going through, and it's like, "Oh, okay, like, actually, it's not necessarily their fault that they're, like, acting out like this or they're acting like this, it's actually, like, something else that's going on in the
right.
background that we don't always see," and so, like, we don't always know what's going on in people's lives, and so, um, I don't know, I would say, like, seeing the golden people is really, like, you kinda have to see past some things sometimes and really look at the Lord's heart for them, which can be hard sometimes, but
Mm. Wow, no, that was really good.
yeah.
Very good advice. Yeah.
I don't know if I answered, like, the main question, I just kinda just started talking,
No, I
but
love it. I think it just changes your heart posture of, how you see people, and we kinda talked about, like, false humility and stuff like that, but,
mhm,
like, when we see the golden people, we suddenly, like, it isn't all about us, you
yeah,
know? We start actually being like, "Oh, like, the Lord did create them," like, start
yes,
selfless, and, like, once we start being in that selfless mindset, we, like, really start to, like, see, like, who the Lord created us, you know, like, kinda seeing our identity and
yeah,
who we are, yeah, but I know we have to wrap up, but is there anything else you'd like to share before we end?
um, what I would say,
Any
um,
advice for the people?
anything for the people. Yeah, I would say, I think a big topic of this is, like, um, hunger, like, if you're hungry, like, go seek after it, and also, I know, like, a question that we were talking about or thinking about answering earlier was, like, a word for those people who, feel like they can't hear from the Lord or, like,
Yes.
are having a blockage of that, um, and I would just say, like, the Lord is always speaking, and there's never been a moment where the Lord is, like, not wanting to talk to his kids, and I would say, like, there is power in the waiting, and I
Mhm.
would say, like, if you're feeling like, "God, I can't hear you, I feel really, like, all over the place," like, I would say just sit down, like, put your phone away, put everything away, and just listen, like, in silence, like, just listen, because waiting on the Lord, like, sometimes he just wants, like, time with his kids, you know what I mean? And so, like, that's something that he genuinely desires is, like, spending time with his kids, and so sitting down and waiting and getting in the Word, like, I can't stress that enough, like, getting in the Word, and, like, the Word is life, and, like, everything from the Word is God-breathed, and so, like, when you're feasting on that, when you're reading it, like, you're literally, like, that's God's words on paper, and so,
Mhm.
like, feasting on that is so important, and, um, yeah, I would just say you can hear God, and He's always speaking, and He wants to speak to you, and, yeah, those who seek will find, or those who knock, the door will be or whatever, however that goes, that was
Yeah.
but, yeah, like, He's
So
ready to yeah,
he's always there. He's in every aspect of our life too.
yeah,
Yeah, so good. Thank you so much, Ally, for coming on. I
of course,
seriously, like, have been so excited for this, like I've said before, 2
yes.
years in the making, a year and a half maybe,
We'll have to
um,
do another one when you come here.
yes, and more, seriously, just to
More.
and in person with our mics and, like,
Yes, that would
camera.
actually be so fun.
But I just, I also wanna encourage, like, anyone listening, if you have questions, just just you're hungry and you want more answers about different things and you're not really finding those in mentors, churches, wherever you are right now, I know Ally's DMs are always open. I'll tag her on my Instagram. My DMs are always open. You can get my
Yes.
number if you need it. I may not have all the answers, but I have resources that do. The Bible and my parents and pastors. So
Yes, it's so good.
yeah. So thank you again, Ally, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.